What's the favorite plant that you've learned to garden with since you've been out here?
I have favorite plants. Partly it's like what's blooming at the time is a favorite. Like roses are my default favorite.
What keeps you coming back to the garden every day?
One of the best things is trying all the new varieties. Hi, I'm Ryan McCallister. Let me show you the garden. I've gardened my entire life. My dad got me into it when I was a little kid. He used to garden, I'd follow him around and do it, and it just kind of went on from there. So I've done it in pretty much every aspect since I was a very, very little kid. My personal style, well, I wouldn't call it a personal style. I'd say it's more favorites. Like vegetable gardens are my favorite, probably because you can eat it. That makes it more fun. Flower gardens, as I've matured in it, I've gotten more into trees and shrubs and everything. So it's kind of an evolving style. It's just kind of more of what I like at the time. So I'm from the LA area, so I'm used to like perfect weather where we can grow everything all the time, and then moved out to New York 16 years ago. So now I have to deal with things like cold and snow and weather and things that I don't have. So it's been both a challenge, but also it's been kind of like a challenge in a good way, having to learn how to grow different things in different areas. And out here, there is a few things that do grow better. So it's kind of nice seeing different things, how they grow in different areas. Stuff that I have to have like in a greenhouse or indoors out here is like a giant weed back home, and vice versa. So it's more of the compare contrast, seeing how stuff grows differently, the same stuff in different areas. It's kind of like people. Plants are adaptable, so it's more learning about that adaptability, which has been more interesting, I would say.
What's your favorite season in the garden?
Not winter. Not winter. Spring is a favorite and not the favorite at the same time. It's the favorite because that's when it's the prettiest. Everything's coming out and blooming, but it's also the busiest season, which makes you both not enjoy it as much and kind of go through it too quickly. Fall is nice, even though most of the flowers are bloomed. The vegetables are at their peak at the very early part of fall, and you're starting to see the change. So I would say like that little overlap of season where it's like the last month of summer and first month of fall, that's kind of the best time. A new plant to me this year was Lotus Moon Pearl Bush, also known as Exocorta. It is a fantastic plant. I planted some out this year to try. Early spring, they bloomed covered in white flowers. Like I couldn't see any leaves. They were covered in flowers. I've had no problem with them. They've grown fast all year. That very much is a very nice plant to try if you can get it. Most plant people say the same thing, but one of the best things is trying all the new varieties. Every year with plants, new varieties of things come out. You can compare them to the old varieties that have grown for years to see if it's better or worse, where you get different attributes. Maybe there's a flower or plant that you like, but it naturally grows 8 feet tall. So now they've bred one that grows 4 feet and actually fits in your garden. So that's the fantastic thing about gardening. It's the constant experimentation, and they're constantly coming out with new things for you to try. And as a plant person, when you go to the nursery, you want to try everything. So it's actually having to show a bit of restraint, not trying everything. I don't show restraint, I try everything. So this guy right here is Little Hottie. It's a compact panicle hydrangea. In this garden here, I chose it specifically because everything else is quite formal and linear, and this allows me to keep a very tight, short, compact, formal shape if I want to do rows of it, like I've done with some of the other plants nearby, or if I just want to focus it and have it stand out in a formal setting. One of the nice things about Little Hottie is that it keeps this nice white color the majority of the season, but once you get into fall and the weather starts to cool down, it starts to get tinges of pink in each of the little flower clusters for a longer season of color and also a differentiation of color throughout the seasons. A great thing about having it in this garden is in the springtime, some of the other plants behind me, viburnums and exocorta, they have the white flowers similar to this. So they all bloom first. And then when they're done, the Little Hottie's gonna take over with a similar type bloom and color. You also get a nice little dark background behind it with all these physocarpus that grow up. So it's a nice little spotlight plant to both continue the color from the springtime of other plants and also to stand out on its own in summer and in fall. So since I'm doing a formal setting here, I'm not gonna have them just kind of all around. What I would do is how this is in between these 2 sycamore trees, I would do the same thing going down and put spotlighting one plant in between each of these sycamore trees. It only is gonna grow about 3-4 feet tall and wide, so it's gonna be a perfect spacing, not to interfere with the trees. And just by having one, it's gonna be a focal point of its own, since it kind of gives a dramatic little silhouette along this whole straight line of physocarpus. As far as color for other seasons, since I do have some other stuff around it, all I really would do is put some little bulbs underneath this. Because it's white, I wouldn't put yellow or anything. I think blue or other whites would look nice. I would go with blue, some bluebells or something like that. I would plant all around. That way you get a continual season focus. You'll still have the green leaves that leaf out in the springtime to kind of transition from the bulbs into the next season with everything.
So if you were to give advice to someone that's just starting the garden, what would you tell them?
I would say to somebody just starting to garden, don't get frustrated. It's literally an experiment. Plant as much as you can. Stuff is gonna die. You're gonna move stuff around. Stuff's gonna get bigger than you think. It's gonna get smaller than you think. Just play and have fun with it. And once you plant something, other than maybe a tree that's been there 10 years, you can just dig something up and get rid of it, move it to another spot. Have fun with it. Just rearrange stuff. It's really, really fun.